Whether you're a first-time player or a seasoned veteran of Vintage Story, the most important item in the game is not your trusty shovel, it's your handbook. The H key on my keyboard is so worn down because I use it so often. Let's learn all about this amazing book. I've got some hours in Vintage Story, and I still find myself hitting that H key often. The Handbook in Vintage Story is the tome of all knowledge in the game. Wait a minute, no mac and cheese? You can access the book from anywhere in the game by pressing H. When you first open the book, you'll see 4 tabs on the left. Tutorials, everything, guides, and blocks and items. There's a search bar in the middle. You can pause the game with the button at the top, unless you're on a server, and there's 2 places to close it, top and bottom. Let's start at the top and work our way down. As the game is now, you'll see the first steps tutorial listed. This is something that I recommend to all first-time players. I've done it a couple of times. Also something you can do if you've been away from the game a while and need a refresher. The Everything tab is, yep, you guessed it, it's where you'll find everything in the game. This is the tab I have my book on most of the time. I then use the search box to find what I'm looking for. I know that if you don't know what you're looking for, it might be a little rough. But most of the time, for me, I'm looking for the, how do I make this thing again? I commit nothing to long-term memory. For instance, I'm looking for a wood fence. I'll search fence and then scroll to the wood options. Magic. Guides. This section is full of useful guides on most of the major mechanics in the game. Honestly, start from the top and work your way down. I've revisited many of these during my time playing. I love that you can go back and reference them as you need. You know what'd be really cool is if they had a link to videos that show you how to do all this stuff. I know a guy, maybe he could help us. The final tab is blocks and items, and yes, it's all about blocks and items. If I'm being honest, I know that the leather backpack and reed handbasket are at the top of this tab, so I always use this tab when I make either of them so that I don't have to type anything. Another useful tip for the handbook is when you need to make something or see what can be made from an item, it's quite simple. Open your bag, hover on the item, and press H. It will then open up the handbook and show you how the item is made. If you do it on raw materials like, I don't know, let's say a stick, you will see everything that can be made from a stick. It's so cool. It's very addicting. I do it on everything. The handbook makes the Vintage Story world much easier to navigate. If you're not opening this book many times during the day, then you probably have a better memory than I do. Honestly, use it. Share your handbook stories in the comments below. Let me know how many times you're using the handbook on any given playthrough. As always, thanks for watching. The video's over. Now it's time for you to do your part. Follow, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.